Scientology sued Dennis and the FactNet people for leaking this material. And Bob paid for the court case, and I think he gave Scientology a settlement to make sure that, these guys didn't go to jail or anything.
What's up, guys? If you're not...
Yeah.
But what was their... what is the Scientology stance on the afterlife / creation? Because, we can get into it today, but the word religion is very interesting because we tend to think about it one-dimensionally in society, but it can be a whole lot of different things. I'd love to get your thoughts on that. But the basis of this was supposed to, through the IRS, say, hey, we're a religious organization. Let's get tax exemption. So yes, you're going up, in this case, trying to put yourself in the same class as Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, stuff like that. How did L. Ron Hubbard work in the religious creation aspect to what he did?
Well, it's a good question, because Dianetics is the science of mental health. That's supposed to be, you should be able to scientifically prove that. And of course you can't.
Right.
But with Scientology, he created this this cosmology behind it, and kept adding through it over time. But essentially, we are godlike beings ourselves. We just forgot that we are. We are Thetans. A Thetan is kind of like a spirit, except if you're a Star Trek fan, the closest equivalent would be Q. If you watch Star Trek Next Generation, there's Q, this guy who can pop in and out and control matter, energy, space, and time, essentially, which is what Hubbard says we can all do. We just forgot how to do it. We used to be these spirits without bodies, and we would spend all of our time playing games. And we were so omniscient, so we could do anything we wanted, and it got dull. So we created meat bodies to make it a little more challenging.
Where did he say he came up with this? Where did he say he came up with it?
He came up with, he looked around at his butt, and he reached in there, and there you go.
Seems like the truth.
Yes. He eventually got around to doing these upper levels called the operating Thetan levels. Took a while for him to get that part of the bridge, but once you get there, then it really starts turning wacky. And all of these things were top secret until the internet came along. And some of this material started leaking, like OT3. Operating Thetan 3 is where you find out that 75 million years ago, Earth was known as Tegiak and was ruled over by the evil overlord Xenu, who, to solve the overpopulation problem in this sector of the galaxy, as Hubbard pronounced it, shoved us all into volcanoes and blew us up with hydrogen bombs far more powerful than those we have today. And that is the cause of all of our problems. We don't remember being blown up in that volcano, but we all were, which is why in round 64, I think it was, L. Ron Hubbard said, we're going to put an exploding volcano on the cover of Dianetics. And people will be standing in a checkout line, and they'll see that. They'll remember something about being blown up in a volcano, and they'll impulsively buy that book and dig into it. So this is something that Scientology tried to keep secret, and were able to for decades before the internet came along. And the internet was like Scientology's Waterloo. So all this information gets out there, and Scientology tries everything they can do to stop it in its tracks. They were raiding people's homes who leaked some of this material. One
what do you
guy
mean they're raiding? They're private citizens.
Well, you would think, But, they can go get a court order, as they did, and say that our copyrighted material is being put online, and a court will give them the warrant to go in and search this person's house. And luckily, I lived just a few blocks away from one of the guys whose home was raided, Dennis Ehrlich. And Dennis called up the local Fox affiliate, and they had a camera crew there. And they videotaped the entire incident where these two Scientology lawyers and executives were there to take this guy's computer and all of his files, and they were rifling through this, and it's all captured on video.
So they go in this case with the help of the government because they get an actual order,
Yeah.
and then they're able to actually carry out the raid in front of the government officials.
They show up with an officer who says, well, they got a warrant, so we're just going to make
get
sure
your
that...
shit.
Yeah. And Dennis is just frantic and making phone calls. And so he had the entire raw tape of this thing. And I put it online back, around... Yeah, that's it.
This is it right here on the screen?
Back in 98 or 99, I think I put this online.
Okay. Should we put volume on this, Alessi? Do you hear what they're saying? Let's do it. Let's get there. Is it on?
All they trashed was my fucking civil rights. That's all they trashed. And that's what you're part of. And whether you like it or not, that's the truth, man. I would have expected a little more from you.
Whoa.
And these guys hate being on camera right now.
I'm sorry to say
Is that the Scientologists?
Yeah.
The captain,
These two
KFC
people
guy?
beyond what they were allowed to do.
One's got his back to us. I can't remember everyone's name. Warren McShane is one of the guys.
That's one right there?
Yeah.
Tapes obviously could be.
Yeah.
God, he looks like a spook.
Look at the warrant.
He's a Scientologist, too. Right?
I don't know what they.
Right? This guy's a Scientologist. I can tell by the 1,000-mile stare.
Ooh, what a burn.
You said he was an employee of your firm, and he wasn't connected with this.
Wait, who's the firm he's talking about? What does he mean, the firm?
A legal firm, I believe.
Got it. Okay.
One shot is what Eddie said to make sure that the
One
place
shot
wasn't
of
trash.
obviously his positions. If I took one shot of his
All right, let's pause it there. Let's see. We're going to put this video also down in the description. We'll have a section in the description called all Scientology videos related to this, and they'll all be down there. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So they just go in and take stuff.
Yep, and they did this, I think, at 3 homes at the same time. And that's when my friend Bob Minton, retired international banker, got involved with this. They were working for a group called FactNet, and Scientology sued Dennis and the FactNet people for leaking this material. And Bob paid for the court case, and I think he gave Scientology a settlement to make sure that these guys didn't go to jail or anything. And they came to an agreement that they wouldn't disperse any of this material again, but it was out there in the wild, so it really didn't matter. All of that is public information now. Much to Scientology's chagrin, because once South Park was talking about the material, it was way too late.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.